Welcome back, everyone, to WebexOne for our second day. And we hope you are as excited about yesterday's announcements as we are. We have an equally exciting day 2 in store for you. Now, yesterday was all about how we can power hybrid work for 3 billion digital workers around the world. And today, we're going to focus on how we enable organizations to serve their 6 billion customers around the world and how we're fundamentally reimagining customer experience. Now, Cisco is leading the way in customer experience and has been for a while. It's been a focus of ours for years. And many of the world's largest and best-known brands rely on Cisco to help them deliver exceptional and magical customer experiences. Now, these are just a few organizations around the world who have countless interactions with their customers daily and rely on Cisco to deliver delightful experiences. And the proof's in our adoption. Nobody powers more customer service agents in the United States than Cisco. And when you take a global view, more than 3.6 million agents and 36,000 organizations are using Cisco solutions for customer service. Now, we've seen record adoption of our new Webex Cloud Contact Center architecture with more than 3x year-over-year growth. And half of our new cloud customers are organizations that have migrated from another Cisco contact center offering. So the question is, why is customer experience so paramount at this juncture? Well, the pandemic created a monumental shift that brought it to the forefront. And people needed service much more urgently, and companies had to respond almost immediately. Now, customer service was no longer a back corner in the store that you went to when you had a problem. Customer service became the front door. And in the midst of this monumental change, heroes emerged. And Cisco was right there for them. Like T-Mobile. They had to turn on a dime to move thousands of customer service agents to work from home. They also had to shift some of the in-store employees from handling traffic in stores to servicing those same customers digitally. And they did it with unbelievable speed and efficiency. And this wasn't some random response to a crisis. For years, T-Mobile had been building a culture where agents were supported by teams of experts and not left to fend for themselves on their own. Now, we'll hear much more about this from T-Mobile in just a little bit. I'm so excited about the conversation. Another great example is the government of the Australian Capital Territory. They're responsible for functions such as health, education, city maintenance, and so much more. And the Webex Cloud Contact Center gave the agents the ability to work from home and still respond rapidly to community needs. This included the COVID vaccine hotline and the ability to engage with people through their digital channels. They were also able to better understand the customer journey and sentiment to help them improve their service processes and elevate their overall customer satisfaction levels. Now, it's clear that not every organization is getting this right. Every one of us is a consumer and understands this problem intuitively. Have you ever been forced to call a company when something goes wrong? And did you ever have to wait forever and listen to elevator music? And once you got through, were you forced to prove who you are over and over and over again? Studies have shown that people spend an average of 43 days on hold in their lifetime. 43 full days on hold. That's 62,000 minutes of their lives spent on hold. Now, if you've experienced any of this yourself, I don't need to tell you how frustrating it is, but it's more than just frustrating. It has a real impact on your customers and your brand. And half of all customers say that their customer service experiences are fundamentally fragmented. Now, you can see this once you are connected to an agent even. They don't know who you are, why you called, what your previous transaction was, and the experience has an impact on customer retention. In fact, 59% of customers say that they'd be willing to abandon a company that they love after just 2 to 3 negative experiences. And 35% say that they'd abandon a company after just 1 single negative interaction. The stakes couldn't be higher. So how can this be solved? Well, it can't be solved in isolation. You have to balance the needs of 3 distinct constituencies. The first is customers. They should be able to interact with you as easily as they interact with their friends. It should feel personal, not transactional. Friends know each other and remember what happened across their interactions. They also reach out frequently with simple conversations. This takes a radically different approach to communications. For agents, they need to support and access expertise in real time. Many agents are new, not fully trained, and don't have the support that they need. It directly impacts the quality of service that they provide and their job satisfaction. And as we know, happy agents make for happy customers. Third, the business needs the agility to change the customer journey in days, not years. They need to continually optimize processes and connect them to systems and people without requiring a whole lot of programming. And forward-thinking organizations are leaning on Cisco to help them transform their customer experiences. Now, when customers do get it right, here's what they're doing right. They listen, they engage, they augment, they learn, and then they adapt. Now, let me explain why each of these competencies is so critical and what we're doing at Cisco to help organizations in their transformations. So the first competency is to listen. This means having a full awareness of the customer and all of their interaction. But many contact centers are simply not aware or connected to the rest of the customer's journey. The data is stuck in siloed systems run by other departments on completely different technology stacks. This is why customers have to explain themselves over and over and over again. And to fix this pain, the contact center has to be aware of the entire journey. Did the customer get stuck in a shopping cart? Was their order out of stock? Did they somehow buy something that was not compatible with the other items that they owned? The only way to provide a connected experience is if the contact center is aware of the other parts of the customer journey. That's why we're so excited to announce our new customer journey data service. It allows you to capture all your customers' interactions across all the channels and all applications, even non-Cisco applications. It turns fragmented data into a unified view so that you can be more proactive in serving your customers. For example, let's say you're an online fitness retailer and your customer put an item in their cart. But for some reason, there's an error and they can't buy the item. Now, before they get frustrated and leave, a chatbot recognizes this error and asks if the customer needs help proactively, then directs them to a live agent right away, and the agent knows exactly what their issue is and how to solve it. Instead of having a terribly bad experience and potentially losing that customer, several magical moments got created, and it all started with listening and our journey data service. That's magic. Now, the next competency is to engage so that your customers can interact with you like they interact with their friends. It needs to be easy, natural, with no friction. This means that your customers should be able to choose how they engage. They might be in a noisy airport and want to change their flight using WhatsApp or text messaging in order to avoid making a call. This has to be easy. And if they later switch to a call, that needs to happen without any loss of context. Your agent also needs an experience that ties these interactions together. So with Webex Contact Center, we put all of this information in one inbox right at the agent's fingertips. We can do all this because we're integrating the omnichannel communication capabilities from IMI Mobile acquisition directly into the Webex Contact Center. It's in our platform and available today. Now, the next competency is to augment the agent so that they're not on their own. We give them the tools and support to solve customer problems. We effectively turn them into super agents that are better, faster, and more accurate. Now, we're doing this by leveraging artificial intelligence technology in multiple different ways. Not to replace the agent, mind you, but to assist the agent. So we've been heavily investing in a family of AI products that help the agent and the system hear the customer's audio better, capture what's being said, and understand the intent behind that speech. So we deliver superior audio quality thanks to the audio intelligence technology from our Babel Labs acquisition that we made, and it removes background noise so that the customer's voice is crystal clear. We then take that audio and generate real-time text transcripts using technology from our Voicea acquisition. And this ensures that we've captured what is actually being said. And finally, we take the transcript and use intent detection technology from our MindMeld acquisition, and we understand that the underlying meaning of what's being said so that we can coordinate the right actions. So for example, if a customer calls into an insurance company's automated virtual agent from a noisy location and says, hey, I want more coverage, the system can detect that the customer's intent is to change their policy. Now, this natural language understanding provides opportunities to drive automation so that customers don't have to wait on hold in the first place. That's the beauty of this platform. And it leverages the same artificial intelligence that we use in our core Webex meetings and calling experiences. And when the agent needs to help solve a problem, they can use Webex collaboration technology to tap into the deep domain expertise with the organization in real time. Now, this collective wisdom helps agents solve problems faster and also builds up their own confidence and knowledge and the effectiveness that comes along with it. Now, when agents are no longer on an island, their job satisfaction levels go way up, retention goes up, and their ability to solve problems on their own improves. And as I said before, happy agents make for happy customers. Now, the next competency is one of the least understood in the industry, and that's to learn. Because if you aren't learning, you won't know what to improve. Now, we enable this with Webex Experience Management. It helps you analyze the entire customer journey so that you can determine which part of the journey needs fixing. For example, we can tell from a transcript analysis that a customer was extremely upset about a flight delay, and we can trigger sending them a discount or a voucher for the next flight proactively. Now, Webex Experience Management also uses predictive learning to help you identify a whole set of calls that you can reduce or eliminate entirely. For example, once you learn that inbound calls spike when you don't notify your customers about a scheduled service outage, you can build triggers to send customers text notifications telling them that there's an outage and it'll be fixed within 2 hours, which prevents them from calling in the first place. But you can only know about this need if you analyze the entire journey systematically and continuously. Now, the final competency is the ability to adapt. And as soon as you have an insight from learning, you need to make changes to your customer service processes and deploy them quickly without having to wait for developers to free up time. That's why we provide a visual low-code, no-code system that democratizes workflow creation and modification. And it's embedded into the Webex Contact Center platform. It allows analysts to create automated processes that connect your customer interactions to your operational systems, like your CRM system and your financial system and your billing system. For example, you can build a process to raise the credit card limit for a customer when they try to spend above their limit. You can tie it back to the back-end systems to validate the eligibility, notify the customer in their preferred channel, engage with them with a self-service bot, and even hand off to an agent if the customer has a question before approving this increase. And you can build an orchestrated process like this quickly without having it turn into a long IT project that takes months and months to deliver. And when you put all of these competencies together, you get this virtuous cycle. It's a cycle where you're listening to your customers, you're engaging with them the way that they want, you're augmenting the agent experience, learning what to do to improve, and quickly rolling out a fix without coding. This cycle has incredible value. It delivers higher Net Promoter Scores, and it reduces customer churn. It also improves agent effectiveness and reduces the agent turnover. And the ROI is measurable and quantifiable. According to Forrester's Total Economic Impact study of Webex Contact Center, an organization with 2 million annual calls achieved benefits of 6.8 million and an ROI of 262% over 3 years by moving Webex Contact Center and the Webex collaboration tools. And our strategy is to deliver the industry's most complete platform for driving these magical experiences across every stage of the customer journey. Let me show you what that means. First, we provide the connective tissue between the customer interactions that are happening across the departments and across channels, and the business systems that have all your data and operational capabilities. And that connective tissue is our Communication Platform as a Service, or CPaaS, which we call Webex Connect. It's purpose-built for the customer service industry. It includes all of our APIs for orchestration, data, digital channels, and artificial intelligence. It also includes APIs for our core WebEx capabilities like video and voice. And it leverages Journey Data Service that has all the context across all of your customer interactions. Now, when you have all of this together, you can build and adapt applications at the speed that you need. Now, on top of this foundation, we provide applications that support every team required to deliver exceptional customer experiences. We have applications for contact center, experience management, notifications, marketing, and collaboration. And these applications are not islands or silos that are disconnected from each other. Our applications share context so that the customer has a single experience, whether they're getting an email from marketing, a notification from logistics, or a text or a call from the contact center. That context is also needed for collaboration inside the organization. And that context is needed by applications that are measuring the voice of the customer and performing analytics. Now, we can produce one experience because all of our applications are connected to the same set of APIs on the same Webex Connect foundation and the Journey Data Service. This is the first in the industry. It means you don't have to stitch together multiple applications from different vendors that don't share data in an attempt to provide a unified journey. Now, earlier, I mentioned that Webex is supporting T-Mobile and helping them deliver truly exceptional customer service. And I had the distinct privilege to talk to Callie Field, T-Mobile's Executive Vice President and Chief Customer Experience Officer, and she had some great insights to share with us. Let's take a look. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to have Callie Field, the EVP and Chief Customer Experience Officer at T-Mobile. Callie, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys have literally saved our lives and our business over the past year and a half, so I'm looking forward to talking with you.
Oh, we're so honored. Hey, before we get started, you have one of the most interesting stories around how you started at T-Mobile and what you've done over the course of the years, and now you've got a very, very large organization that you're running. But can you just give us a little bit of history? How did you start at T-Mobile? What did you do? And how did you end up here?
Well, I thought so I've been at T-Mobile 18 years. And in fact, on Friday, I celebrated my 18-year anniversary, which is just wild. This was supposed to be a temporary gig for me. I thought I was going to be a civil rights attorney or maybe a Supreme Court justice. I'd finished my JD MBA and applied at lots of jobs with social justice or civil rights work, and was getting nowhere. And so, 18 years ago, I just needed to pay the bills. So I started selling cell phones at a mall cart in Austin, Texas, and that ended in an 18-year experience. And we were chatting beforehand, and I was saying it's ended up being, I've grown up here. I've learned to be an executive. I've learned so many lessons of leadership. And this is my family. I just, I feel like whenever I get to go out to the field and visit at our customer experience centers with my frontline teams or in our stores with the folks that have been, helping us stay as a thriving, newly created T-Mobile Sprint company over the past year and a half. It's been a really powerful story of what a frontline who is motivated and inspired to take care of customers can do for a company. And that's where I started. And it's been pretty cool.
And, it's such a cool, inspirational story. And actually, my guess is that your experience as a frontline salesperson selling products in a mall cart probably has a lot to do with your success right now, because you have so much empathy for what every single person probably goes through and what challenges they have as you're going through and putting together a digital experience for your customers. So
there were so many times when the product experience was not working as designed when it came to being a sales rep in a mall and being the face of the T-Mobile brand with customers. And so I always think about that when we're coming up with capabilities or really looking at end-to-end experiences. Is that going to translate to this incredibly talented, vibrant, energetic, passionate person that we have either in a store or in a call center? Is this idea going to translate to whatever they're working on with the customer? It's a very great lens, I think, for us all.
How large is your team now? How many people are in your organization?
I have around 30,000 employees between care, frontline experts, and all the support teams, the customer experience teams that look end to end, and then our digital, and then all of our digital teams. So about 30,000 employees.
Kind of like a small town or a country almost. But when you start thinking about that, and you think about the customer experience journey that we need to make sure that as all different brands we're taking our customers through, what do you think is going to happen over the course of the next few years? Like what is the future of customer service and and customer experience going to look like?
I think companies that have over time looked at customer service as sort of a necessary evil, a unit cost of doing business, and that's really all that they see, is a very big disadvantage for those companies in the long term and even in the short term. Customers are savvy. They have more tools and more opportunities to do competitive shopping and to really determine what's the relationship that they want to have with the company. And so I think when companies don't invest in experience and they don't start looking at the end-to-end journey as well as, hey, how do we take something like customer service and find a way to make our customers happier, to deepen our relationships, to help the customer do anything that we can do for them for themselves, they're really doing a disservice. And while I do think there's a lot of technology that's very cool that is creating some opportunities to become less manual, less offline in the way that we're serving customers, I really carry a flag for, hey, put the customer at the center and then empower that experience with whatever means necessary. And if it looks like that the customer wants to have a completely digital experience, that's great. Let's build that and make it exceptional. But if the customer wants to do business with a person, then let's make sure that they can connect with that person and get a person who is empowered and in fact incentivized to do whatever it takes to make that customer leave being really excited about their relationship with the company. So I'll give you this visual. We talk about this a lot for our call centers, which is, how do we take our frontline employees and not put a wall of robots, IVRs and digital screens in between our customers and our employees. Our employees are exceptional. So what do we do? How can we turn those employees into superheroes? And let's use tech like Iron Man has Jarvis, and let's give them the tools that they would need to take care of that customer in truly extraordinary ways that are really quite an incredible experience. And so that's what we talk about, are what are the technology tools that turn our people into just superpowers for superheroes. And yeah, that's how I think about it for this next couple of years.
We actually think in a very similar way, which is, the technology should augment the human to be able to better serve their customers rather than the other way around. And oftentimes I think the mistake that gets made is you force a technology solution to the customer and the customer just wants to talk to a human. But instead, what you should do is make the human more productive to be able to serve the customer effectively. So I'm so glad to hear you say that. Now, as you said, Cisco, we have a great partnership with you over the course of the past few years, and it's only gotten better over time. What are things that were particularly helpful to you, and what are the things that we could be doing more of to make sure that you can go farther in your journey?
Well, like so many of your customers over the past year and a half, around April of 2020, a few things were going on. One, I think we were all coming to terms with what COVID meant for our everyday lives and safety of the people that we love and lead and serve. And then two, for T-Mobile, on April the 1st, 2020, we completed the largest telco merger in the history of the US and beyond, actually, with Sprint and T-Mobile coming together. With a new CEO, a new senior leadership team, and about 29 million new customers coming on, and had to do it all remotely because we were not in our offices. And Webex I remember getting my first Webex screen and being like, oh God, I gotta set this up. It was actually very easy to set up. But that became the way that we connected. And so we were kind of laughing at this before the call. It's bizarre to me that we used to do work over just conference calls. And in my world, we have partners all over the world providing customer service, in the Philippines or in South America or in Europe and in parts of Asia. And so to be able to add the capabilities to have information and data shared very quickly on our screens, as well as video and audio, and to be able to express and connect with our digital tools in ways, or I think it really kept us alive. I think it really, we had to meet all new employees as a leadership team. I had a new boss, new CEO, new leadership team trying to make massive decisions with billions of dollars of implications for what we were doing. We did all of that with Cisco over Webex. And I think that was pretty extraordinary. I don't know what we would have done.
We're so honored to actually be able to be a small part of your journey. And it's so inspirational to see people like you who started down in the trenches and now have done such large things with their jobs and for the world. And T-Mobile's such an amazing story, and you being part of T-Mobile is such an amazing story. Thank you again for everything that you've afforded us the opportunity to serve you better. And we're looking forward to it because we think we're just getting started, and there's so much more innovation to be had. So we really appreciate you joining us for a bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Webex is a critical component to T-Mobile's collaboration ecosystem and helps us deliver on our brand promise of delivering outstanding wireless services to our customers.
We've made promises to our customers. We promise that we're going to fix your call the first time you contact us. We have enabled our team of experts to sit together in a pod to talk to each other.
When we moved to a work from home model for our contact center space, that became incredibly difficult because they were no longer in the same physical space.
Cisco came to us and implemented a contact center solution that really helped us streamline the calling experience for our frontline and external customers.
Cisco unlocked cloud queuing for us, which allows us to actually pair agents with customers when they're available, regardless of geography. And that was just a huge unlock. It's a huge unlock in efficiency, and it's a big gain in customer satisfaction.
In a matter of weeks, we were able to shut down all of our call centers and enable 12,000 agents to get back on the phone to help our customers. We know now that we don't have to physically be together because we have the tools that we need to stay in contact with each other. What Cisco allows us to do is route that call to a local call center or to a global partner overseas. And now we can also route that call to the agent's actual home. We will be able to connect our customers via any of the channels, so we can make sure that that call is answered anytime.
And we have so much more to share with you today on how we're helping organizations transform their customer experiences. But before I'd wrap up, I'd ask you to remember three things. First, the stakes have never been higher. Customer experience is truly a reflection of your company and your brand. The success of your organization depends on customer loyalty, and customer loyalty is earned by solving customers' problems quickly and efficiently with the least amount of effort on the part of the customer. Second, organizations that set themselves apart from the rest are those that focus on key competencies that they need throughout the customer journey. They listen, they engage, they augment, they learn, and then they adapt. Third, Cisco provides the industry's most complete unified platform for customer experience across the entire journey. It's a set of integrated applications, all built on a common foundation and journey data service. And it's all driven by the power of Webex, which means it directly leverages all the Webex's rich capabilities and innovations for collaboration, calling, messaging, artificial intelligence, and so much more. And to tell you more about what we have to offer, I'd like to hand it off to Omar and Courtney and the rest of our product leaders. But first, take a look at this great video that the team has put together for us.
Hi, I'm a customer. We need to talk. We, the customers, want to be heard. We'd like you to know our names the first time. Meet us where we are. Sometimes we're okay with a text. Sometimes we want an actual person. Answer our questions and fix problems the first time. We want your people to be prepared. Give them the tools they need. Use technology to map the way to our joy. If our problem goes deep, go to the source. Bring in the experts. We're not here to complain. We just want to be happy with the choices we make. We want to be happy with you. So what can you do to elevate our experience? Meet us where we are. Reach out when you see a problem, before it's a problem. Make every journey end with a solution, and we'll give you 5 stars. We'll shout out your praises. We'll tell a friend, even 5 friends, and we'll keep coming back.
Our strategy for producing delightful customer experiences has been several years and billions of dollars in the making, and it can be summarized by a singular focus: to create a unified solution for the customers who experience your brand and the employees who produce that experience. Now, the reason over half of customers feel that their experiences are fragmented is because brands subject their customers to experiences that are stitched together through different departments and supported by different vendors. In other words, an obstacle course. What we're going to show you today is the first platform that creates a unified experience for customers and the employees who produce it. We'll show you that this requires the radically different capabilities you get from having 2 core capabilities in one place. First off, an end-to-end, ready-to-use set of CX applications across logistics, commerce, contact center, experience management, and marketing. And 2, a complete infrastructure that creates common data and common APIs to stitch together all the applications so that brands can customize experiences with one CPaaS infrastructure, now called Webex Connect. And when we say Webex Connect, we don't only mean the IMI Connect CPaaS capabilities we acquired and integrated. We also include additional CPaaS APIs from Webex. After all, Webex is the world's most adopted enterprise communications platform for hybrid work and now for CX. We are exposing some of these APIs so others can build on top of that platform. This is what makes our strategy unique and powerful. So let's break this down first into the 5 competencies that Jeetu discussed, as well as the underlying platform that enables it. Let's start with listen. Half of customers complain that their experiences are fragmented. Businesses sometimes act like Dory in Finding Nemo. They simply lack memory. And everyone here has probably experienced this fragmentation. You call a customer care and they aren't aware of the items stuck in your shopping cart. Or you start a chat conversation, but when you escalate to a call, you have to repeat yourself. Well, an experience is fragmented. Your customers have to stitch it all together for you by waiting to talk to you and then repeating themselves. Waiting and repeating are 2 ways to guarantee a bad service interaction. Now, this situation persists in our industry for 2 main reasons. First off, businesses have a hard time linking identity across address schemes. This email, that phone number, that online chat. And second, businesses use CX applications from different vendors, so their customers' view is transactional. It's incomplete. Now, to address this chronic fragmentation, we're very excited to announce the release of our Journey Data Service. With our Journey Data Service, a business can connect a shopping cart to a chat, to a call, to an email, even though these different interactions happen through different departments and different vendors. With this technology, every interaction across the customer journey, regardless of vendor, can contribute to a progressive yet private customer profile. Omar at Cisco, Omar at Gmail, my 408 number shouldn't represent 3 different people. And your marketing, logistics, and customer care shouldn't carry 3 distinct profiles. A single, progressive profile is a prerequisite for a unified journey. Now later, you will hear from Paychex on how they are using the Journey Data Service API to detect real-time customer sentiment for in-the-moment course correction opportunities. And now, let's hear from Courtney to look more closely at what this listening capability looks like. Courtney?
Thanks, Omar. Let's look at a real-world illustration of the power data can have when it's connected across communication channels, business units, and identities. For instance, an airline can still wow its travelers, even with the inevitable hiccups that come with travel. In this example, a traveler started their journey with an airline by booking a flight on the airline's website. So far, so good. But the day of their trip comes and there's a serious weather event. They're putting their luggage in the car when they receive a text letting them know their flight has been delayed. They quickly respond call from the prompt in a proactive text notifying them about the delay and connect with an agent real time. If the agent answers and says a very generic, "How can I help you?" they immediately think, "Oh boy, here we go. I've got to go back to the beginning." Imagine instead the conversation starts with, "Hi, Courtney. I see your flight to San Jose was delayed. I bet that's got you concerned. But don't worry, I've already got a solution for you and we're going to make it right." Think about how different those two experiences are. "How can I help you?" versus "I know why you're here and I have a solution." Here's how our new Journey Data Services enabled this empathetic experience. First, all of the interactions the customer has had with the airline are here. Website interactions, automated notifications, chat responses. So the airline agent immediately has a clear picture both of how the traveler got there and a very good idea of what they're going to need next. The magic here is pulling this information into a single connected view, merging interactions that happened across a work address, a personal phone number, maybe even a dedicated user ID. The Journey Data Services connect the threads between these seemingly different identities and voila, we see that this is indeed one person with one connected journey and one connected experience. The next competency is about engaging customers. Omar, tell us about how the Webex Customer Experience Platform is enabling these engaging experiences.
As Jeetu said, customers need to engage with your business as easily as they engage with friends. Friends don't put friends on hold for 43 days. Engaging with a business like you would a friend requires two key changes for most contact centers. One, you have to make it easy for a customer to connect any way they want. Sometimes customers have a really nuanced problem and they just want to speak to someone. But other times, a customer is in a noisy place and a message is what's needed. In fact, messaging is the preferred channel for a whole new generation of consumers because of the simplicity of the interface. And now, it's quickly becoming a preferred channel for businesses. Two, when people interact with agents, the agent can't be forced to hunt and peck for information. The agent needs a single inbox for all their interactions to weave together conversations. If you do these two things, the customer can have short, frequent, context-rich interactions, and the agent can keep up across the various channels with which the customer chooses to interact. We're very excited to announce the launch of IMI Mobile, digital channels within the Webex Contact Center, just several months after we announced the acquisition. This all-new microservices-based cloud Webex Contact Center has grown so quickly just since we announced it last December. It's now our dominant cloud solution, adopted by some of the most forward-looking brands. We've not only grown by more than 3 times in the cloud this past year, we've also deployed 56% more customers on our cloud solution. That means we're seeing more previously premises-based customers switching to the cloud, as well as more new customers. And we're doing this in more regions internationally, including Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and the UK. You will hear more about our Webex Contact Center from Broadcom later today. But for the moment, let's hear from Courtney on what this customer engagement looks like.
One of the most important things you can do for customers is to allow them to connect when and how they want. Turning back to our stranded traveler, let's look at some of the features of the Webex Customer Experience Platform that allowed the agent to keep them on the happy path. In this case, the platform knew that text was their preferred communication channel, but we also have support for one of the industry's broadest ranges of channels, including WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Google RCS, Apple Business Chat, and many more. But with all these channels to choose from, things could quickly go awry on the agent side. For instance, the conversation with our worried traveler started with an intelligent chatbot, then moved to talking to a human agent. For the agent to not go back to the dreaded, "How can I help you?" Webex Contact Center provides full history of all previous communications, human or virtual, for a seamless baton pass between the two. Let's hear from Omar about some of the other ways we're giving agents superpowers to create these delightful experiences.
Now let's talk about the third competency, augment. Everyone here remember Tony Stark from the movie Iron Man? He's a very visual depiction of what humans augmented by technology look like. And what we have to talk about here is no less marvelous. Customer service representatives, by and large, took their job because they enjoy solving customer problems. But because of the churn in the industry, a large portion of your agents are in their first job, in their first year of service. And your brand's reputation is in their hands. So augmentation is about providing these agents with the support they need to truly represent you. This support comes in two forms of collective wisdom. The first is AI. AI is collective wisdom because the algorithms learn from all the agents and they bring the best solutions to bear in real time for this specific agent. The next form of collective wisdom kicks in when the agent and AI are still unable to solve the problem. Like the lifeline in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, agents can now reach into the hive and have coworkers who are knowledgeable collaborate in real time to get a better answer. These two forms of collective wisdom take our agents off of the island of isolation where the best of AI and collaboration help them solve problems faster. This not only benefits customers, it also stems churn. Happy agents make for happy customers. Again, let's turn to Courtney to see what collective wisdom looks like in action.
So, Omar talked about how we can bring the best of a human touch together with AI to create these amazing Iron Man superpowers. With our traveler, when they contacted the airline to reschedule their flight, what they didn't know was happening in the background was that the agent was tapping into the collective knowledge and wisdom of the thousands of total agents employed by the airline. Our traveler is now at the airport, and the agent is called to follow up and ensure everything is going smoothly. As they're talking, Agent Answers is running in the background, listening and proactively recommending helpful, context-aware resources for the agent. Based on pattern analysis taken from thousands of previous interactions, Agent Answers knows that for travelers who have to change their flights, luggage misrouting is often an issue. So acting as a silent, real-time coach, Agent Answers is providing the agent a series of steps that can help confirm all is going according to plan. It's also transcribing exactly what the customer is telling the agent real time and allowing the agent to keep full focus on the conversation instead of rapid-fire typing notes. But we have yet another superpower for our agents, and that is the new integration of the Webex app right in the Webex Contact Center agent desktop. Agents can quickly choose to message, call, or even video conference to crowdsource from the collective wisdom of their team, bringing the full power of Webex collaboration to bear. Because creating amazing customer experiences is a team effort, as you heard from Callie today at T-Mobile. Now, let's drill down into the analytics capabilities of our Webex customer experience platform that allow businesses to learn ways they can push customer satisfaction to new levels.
In this next section, I'll talk about the most overlooked step in the virtuous cycle, and it requires a radical departure in thinking. Most companies look at a call center and they say, hey, we have 10,000 calls today, each averaging 5 minutes, with an average NPS of 50. Over the next year, let's get all those calls down to 4 minutes with an NPS of 55, and then we'll have a huge success. To that, I say, why can't we consider every one of the 10,000 calls a failure? A failure somewhere else in the journey that might have been prevented. Why don't we get to 0-minute calls? For example, if everyone is calling because there's an outage in their area, send them a text when the outage is predicted to be over. If everyone calls when their credit card is declined, send them a text to let them know which specific transaction triggered it so they can validate it or flag the transaction and avoid the call in the first place. We already mentioned that 1/3 of consumers would leave a brand after a single negative interaction. What's even more problematic is that most brands don't know which set of interactions cause this, and the cost is staggering. Reversing this requires a set of analytics that's aware of the entire customer journey, and it's capable of diving deep into sentiment and behavioral analysis. In the grand scheme of things, the brand that learns the fastest will be the brand with the best customer experience. We're so excited to announce that Webex Experience Management will now be fully integrated with our Journey Data service in order to marry voice of the consumer sentiment with behavioral data to offer the world's most complete journey intelligence solution. Again, let's hear from Courtney on what it takes to actually learn about customer experiences and step in and make a difference.
Well, Omar, that is a bold statement indeed. 0 calls to a contact center? What is that going to take to get there? All right, so starting from that idea that every call represents a failure somewhere else in the journey, how do we track back to find the source so we can solve it? With Webex Experience Management, we have this incredible capability to do just that. Let's see how our airline can gain the insight it needs to fix the broken parts of the customer journey. One of the airline's customer experience analysts might start by looking at a theme river analysis. We quickly see that one of the prominent themes coming up in conversations that end with a poor customer satisfaction score is flight delays. The analyst can then drill down into this real time to see what's causing such a spike. And not only that, but sophisticated what-if analysis allows the analyst to pinpoint and even assign an ROI to rank potential actions. In this case, it shows the most impactful factor is proactive communication with impacted travelers. By tying together the relationship between customer experience and potential actions to take, you can narrow down to what matters most and have the biggest impact. Now that we've learned what we should act on, Omar, take us through how we're going to act on that.
Absolutely. In order to provide world-class CX, the full experience has to be adaptable. It has to be programmable. Gone are the days when it was acceptable to say that altering a CX flow would take 12 months and a professional services team. For a stack to be programmable, the lower-level primitives need to be exposed by API, and the applications have to be built upon these primitives, and the same primitives need to be exposed to the outside applications. And we're so proud to announce that IMI's digital channel APIs and low-code journey orchestration is completely embedded in the Webex Contact Center platform. But the highlight here isn't just about APIs. APIs require developers. This means that many of the ideas you want to implement can wait months before you can practically deploy them. No more. With the Webex Contact Center, a business operations person can create low-code visual flows that connect business systems to digital channels without a developer. By democratizing access to workflow changes, we enable a business to move at the speed of insight. Once again, let's turn to Courtney to see what this looks like.
We've seen the huge difference it has on a customer's experience when a business is invested in a platform that allows them to connect data, understand customer needs and preferences, and proactively communicate with context. Let's have a look at how the magic of our travelers' memorable interactions happened behind the scenes. With the Webex Connect Flow Builder, an operations analyst had easily defined a sequence of activities. We can see that the first trigger in the sequence started when the airline's flight tracking system registered a delay, beginning the flow. Webex Connect then checked the CRM system, confirmed each traveler's individual channel preferences, and triggered an automated notification on that channel. The notification gave the traveler options to stay on the flight, change the flight, or call. When the traveler chose to have the agent call, the agent was notified in Webex Contact Center and able to immediately contact the customer. Magic? No. The power and adaptability of Webex Connect. Let's wrap up by hearing from Omar about what is so unique and so differentiated about the Webex customer experience platform.
In order to pull this together, you not only need end applications like marketing, campaign management, experience management, and contact center software, you also need a full customer experience platform that's programmable so you can adapt at the speed of your insight. Now, let's see why this is so difficult for most companies. A lot of players in the industry see the different parts of the CX journey as separate competencies that should be filled with niche solutions. For example, in this sample customer, they've selected a combination of Microsoft Teams for collaboration, MessageBird for message notifications, Genesys for contact center, Eloqua for campaign management, and Qualtrics for experience management. Because they're from separate companies, they lack 4 key ingredients. They lack common data, common identity, common channels, and common integrations. That results in a massively fragmented customer experiences. Now, other brands with development teams take another approach entirely. They build their own bespoke applications on top of one or more different CPaaS vendors like Twilio and Amazon. They would create their own end-to-end applications for campaign management, contact center, experience management, and marketing. The problem isn't just in the initial development, it's in maintaining and evolving this complexity for the following reasons. First, this always takes way more time and money than was originally anticipated. It creates a DevOps overhead that is discovered way after development begins. And it forces each application stack to rebuild the integrations into the business systems that are unique to that brand. And finally, it creates huge maintenance complexity. In reality, customers wanted the benefits of the finished application approach, but without the cost of fragmentation. They also want the benefits of the bespoke build-your-own approach without the implementation and maintenance complexity. That is the sweet spot they desire. And speaking of sweet spots, this is what we have built, an end-to-end platform that comes with all the full-featured end applications needed to run your business on top of a common journey data service so that no end application is isolated. In addition to the pre-built applications, we have the new Webex Connect, CPaaS, which allows you to build completely new customer experiences. This gives an organization the broad set of communication APIs needed to build delightful experiences that are still connected to the full journey. To see how this level of customization and build-out is possible, we'll hear from Sudarshan and Miriam. They will walk us through the CPaaS offerings to show us how leading brands customize and build experiences from scratch.
Thanks, Omar. So you just heard about our customer experience platform and how it powers stunning customer experiences. Let's drill down into the CPaaS layer, Webex Connect. Like any CPaaS offering, the platform allows you to embed communications into your applications and systems using APIs and SDKs. But that's where the similarity ends and the differentiation begins. With Webex Connect, you can build and launch new customer engagement apps faster than ever before using a low-code, no-code approach. And you can use the platform in conjunction with the Webex Customer Experience suite of applications to extend, configure, and customize the capabilities provided by these applications. Inbuilt metering and billing modules enable both consumption-based and commit-based pricing that are independent of Webex Suite licensing. That means you have all you need to create experiences that delight your customers. And that is why I'm so excited to be here today. The role of CPaaS has extended far beyond enabling one-way communications like sending one-time passwords. Webex Connect today powers billions of rich customer interactions orchestrated across channels and backend systems, delivering seamless and connected customer journeys. It is therefore no surprise that the CPaaS market is projected to grow from $4.3 billion in 2019 to $17.7 billion by 2024. CPaaS has come of age, and we are helping shape the evolution of this category. Now let's hear from Miriam on trends shaping customer expectations and examples of great customer experiences powered by Webex Connect. Over to you, Miriam.
Thanks, Sudarshan. The way we communicate has changed over the past 20 years. Most of us send messages more than we talk on a phone. In a recent analysis done by Statista, they found that 2.1 trillion messages were exchanged in 2020 alone, an increase of 52 billion messages since 2019. Gartner predicts that 80% of companies will abandon mobile apps in favor of messaging by 2025. This means customers have an expectation to engage with you in a way that is natural to them. We're all customers of companies that provide us products or services we use every day. We remember the great experiences, but we also remember the bad ones, when we are on hold for what seems like an eternity. What if being on hold was the exception? It can be. If interacting with a company you do business with is as easy as sending a message. Let me show you what that looks like. In this example, John, who's an avid photographer, has just placed an order for a new camera. His order is ready for pickup, but did he remember the accessories? Well, the store has them covered and puts in front of him options he can easily add to the order before he picks it up. He realized he forgot a new memory card, so he selects that and adds it to the order. The store also provides him with the payment options that are already saved to his account. He chooses the store credit option, and with that, his order is updated. Notice how John never called anyone or opened a separate app. In this example, the utility company proactively reached out to Tom to let him know they'll be in the area on October 31st to conduct their annual service. Initially, Tom asks for a morning appointment, then he realizes he has a meeting, so he asks for an evening one. The interaction that you see happening does not include a person on the utility side. In fact, it is an AI-powered bot that understands context and intent. And there is a real-time integration with their business systems to support scheduling appointments, validating customer information, and data updates. And if Tom decided to speak to someone, the conversation would be seamlessly handed over to a live agent. These two examples are what great customer experiences should look like. So we know messaging is going to become a bigger trend in customer service. But we are seeing another trend emerge that makes those experiences more immersive, and that is through video. In a recent Forbes article, they cited research that 2/3 of people worldwide are video chatting more now than they were just 7 months ago. Also, across the 4 continents and 14 countries that the research covered, they found that 55% of consumers have used video to connect with businesses, which was up from 44% in January of this year. So what are the possibilities? Let's imagine bringing the store floor complete with a customer service associate to your customer's living room. With video, you can. The representative can show them the product, answer questions, and also compare it to other items on the store. This empowers the customer to make a confident decision. You can also walk that customer through installing the product as well, just like an expert would in their home. The possibilities are endless. So this is why I am excited to announce that we're bringing the Webex Suite video capabilities we all know and love to developers with the addition of video as a new channel in our Webex Connect CPaaS platform. It will include group calling, recording, Webex Smart Audio with noise cancellation, and background blur. At this point, you're probably sitting back thinking, this is awesome. My business needs all of that, but where do I begin? What do I need to do to create the types of customer experiences we just saw? Well, Sudarshan can show us how. Sudarshan?
Well, it starts by having the right set of ingredients readily available at your fingertips. So you can use these building blocks to accelerate your development. After all, connected journeys involve way more than sending and receiving messages on lots of different channels. They're about delivering tangible business outcomes for your customers when and where they need them. Managing customer profile, whether it is consent, channel preferences, presence, or device attributes, is one such capability. Journey data is another, whether it is consuming journey data to initiate contact or personalize an experience, or it could be enriching journey data based on customer interactions. Next, you not only need a breadth of channel capabilities to cater to your customer preferences, but you also need the depth of capabilities that each channel has to offer, so you can deliver the best experiences regardless of which channels your customers choose to interact with you. Adopting new digital channels should not mean ripping and replacing your existing systems. You need a platform that can orchestrate customer interactions with your existing systems, so you can deliver the instant gratification that consumers have come to expect today. Whether it is answering their questions such as what's my balance, when is my next payment due, or activating new products or services and fulfilling their requests. We know customer interactions are shifting from point and click menu driven applications to natural language conversations. So consequently, the role of CPaaS extends beyond simply transporting messages from point A to point B. Finally, connected journeys need business logic for decisioning, branching, and integration with your partner services. So think about credit checks, payments, and physical fulfillment as examples. And you need all of these building blocks in a single platform from a single vendor with the right SLAs and controls you need for business critical use cases. And that's exactly what the Webex Connect Enterprise CPaaS platform is built to do. It helps you accelerate your IT roadmap and eliminates DevOps overheads. You can publish your apps in a single click to the inbuilt high-performance execution engine. What you build on the platform runs on the platform. Now that we've seen what you need as building blocks, let's change gears and talk about how you can go about creating these apps. Let's look at two approaches. One, you can use one or more building blocks as APIs and code your own applications. Or you can use a low-code visual environment to author your applications. Let's start with the developer approach first. For developers, the platform provides a rich set of programmable communications, from the staples that include SMS and voice to newer channels such as WhatsApp, Apple Business Chat, in-app, and more. The platform also includes journey data and AI APIs. You can even create your own mashups and publish them as reusable orchestration APIs. We are making it even easier for your developers to try the platform. I'm extremely excited to introduce our Enterprise Developer Sandbox. You can sign up for an account without having to go through a long procurement process. You don't even need a credit card. Just sign up with your business email address and a phone number and start building the types of rich customer engagement apps you saw earlier. When you're ready to take your apps live, there is an upgrade path to an environment specifically designed for production workloads. But what happens if your business does not have the necessary development resources? This is where the low-code toolset comes in, with a range of tools specifically designed for analysts and configuration specialists. Imagine all the flowcharts you have drawn on whiteboards, ideas on how you can improve your customer experience, but ideas that haven't seen the light of the day. With Webex Connect, you can now bring those flowcharts to life. Technical analysts can leverage the rich set of pre-built nodes to craft and deploy new customer engagement apps faster than ever before. Once an app is live, your product managers and data analysts can begin to draw insights on how customers are engaging with your business and identify areas of improvement. Making those improvements is as quick and easy as creating a new version, making the necessary changes, and republishing the flow. So, to summarize, the Webex Connect CPaaS platform is crucial to bring your customer experience strategy to life. You can rapidly create your own customer engagement apps or use the platform to extend the capabilities of our packaged apps. I'm absolutely thrilled with the launch of our Enterprise CPaaS Developer Sandbox. I can't wait for you to try it. I'm also equally excited about the upcoming addition of video to our CPaaS offering. So you can build rich and engaging apps using video alongside other channels. Now let's hear directly from our Webex customers, two companies that exemplify great customer service, Broadcom and Rogers Communications. Take it away, Vinod.
Well, it's hard to reimagine customer experiences without talking to actual customers. And we have two of our finest for you here. I'd love to welcome on stage Caron from Rogers Communications and Stanley from Broadcom to tell their customer experience stories. My name is Vinod Muthukrishnan. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Webex Customer Experience, and I have the privilege of hosting you for the next 15 minutes. Caron, we're going to start with you. Can you introduce yourself and Rogers for our audience, please?
Sure. Caron Bagley. I'm Director of Prepaid in Technology at Rogers Communication. I'll give you a little quick history of myself. 25 years in the business. The first 10 years is basically with the government, non-for-profit organizations, and the financial industry. And the latter, which is recent, is the last 15 years with Rogers Communications. A little bit about Rogers is that we are basically a quad play. We're a telecom communications company, a Canadian, building with Canadians, keeping Canadians connected. We are basically telecommunications that deals in wireless, media, and residential, and basically keeping our Canadians connected.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karan. Stanley, would love to have you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Vinod. Hello, everyone. I'm Stanley To. I run the enterprise and user services and experience in Broadcom. So basically anything that touches the internal and external end users. Broadcom is a company with 60 years of technology innovation. We are part of HP in 1961, and then we grew over the year through acquisition. We acquired Broadcom Corporation, CA Technologies, Brocade, and Symantec. So right now we are actually a semiconductor and also a software company. We operate out of 52 countries with over 100 sites and offices with approximately 25,000 workforce.
Awesome. So what we get is two very large, highly complex distributed businesses, and obviously what comes with that are CX challenges. So Karan, I'm going to start with you since you're coming into this service from Canada. Let's start with how the world looked for you. You serve a very unique audience of prepaid customers. Talk to us about that very unique prepaid audience and the challenges that they face.
Globally, the prepaid market is well known. From a Canadian standpoint, it's less. We are mostly on a postpaid, so the majority of our Canadians are on a postpaid type wireless plan or program, if you will. And for the prepaid market, we have a lot of new Canadians that come and look for this type of service in Canada because this is what they're used to back home. It's the same type of service. They're looking for that particular. They don't necessarily have the credits that they need to I guess engage or to sign up for a postpaid. There's lots of regulations within Canada. So the prepaid market is heavy. That's the uniqueness of it. As a newcomer to Canadian and having a global outlook so that they can stay connected, not just within Canada, but back home. But they need to have that ability and that flexibility.
So very unique market, and then the pandemic hits, and you did a lot of innovative things using our CPaaS platform to stay connected with them and give them the kind of services that was unique to their requirements. Talk to us through it and tell us what kind of adoption uptake you saw as a result of that.
So we have been using your CPaaS platform, which is formerly IMI Mobile, but now it's Webex by Cisco. And we are very happy to partner with Webex. We have been partners with you for over 12 years on the postpaid market, just from a marketing perspective. But this particular, on the prepaid market, we were very innovative. We launched, in 2020, we launched a couple of programs, but two specific programs, one called Day Pass and one called iTopUp. And basically from a prepaid market, Day Pass was able to keep customers connected during the pandemic times. So during the pandemic, our retail stores closed for the prepaid market. So customers were unable to obviously go into a store and still remain connected. Usually they would top up, they would pay the amount to be able to top up their amount. From a Day Pass perspective program, we would keep them connected by offering them smaller plans for dollars a day, literally dollars a day, to keep them connected. Because during the pandemic, we all know that some families were financially burdened. So we needed to make sure that they, one, kept connected. That is one of Rogers' main goals, to keep Canadians connected. So we did that through Day Pass, through our prepaid market, which was fabulous. We saw a great uptake of 30% within 3 weeks. And then it just stayed steady, and it went to about 50%. Because we went to the iTopUp program, which we saw an uptake of 50% of our customers actually registering their credit cards with our program so that they could stay connected, and we would target market them.
Karan, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I feel incredibly privileged that you use our platform to deliver these messages, these services, and stay connected with your customers and help them stay connected with their loved ones. Stanley, I'm going to move over to you now. You have a very long history with Webex, but your customer experience system had certain inherent challenges. Talk to us about how your world of CX and the tech stack looked like before you came to us.
Vinod, when we look at end user experience, most of the time we look at external and customers experience. But because of the unique position of my team is in, I have to look at both internal and external. Before we move to Webex Contact Center, our external support portal has actually 4 different support channels. We have the virtual agent chat, we have search for knowledge, live agent chat, and voice. Well, actually, I lied. There are actually a 5th one where the corporate phone is on a separate system for the agents too, right? So there are 5. Now, the platforms are not stitched together to give a seamless experience for both the Broadcom customers and for the call center agent. For the customers, contacts were lost while channel switching and they have to keep repeating themselves. For the agent, key information may be lost when the customer was doing channel switching, right? Plus, not to mention, you need different admin skill set to maintain all these different systems.
So Stanley, I know you've moved to Webex Calling and Webex Contact Center. I'd love for you to tell us how your systems look now, one for end customers, and very interestingly, as you mentioned, from an IT admin and management perspective, both on the calling and on the contact center side.
Yeah, as you say, right, we recently moved to Webex Calling. And when we had the opportunity to replace our contact center system, we're looking at a system that is also in the cloud. Give us the ability to scale quickly and provide a cohesive end-to-end platform, plus leverage on our Webex Calling platform. We selected Webex Contact Center. When we moved to Webex Contact Center, all of the platform I mentioned earlier consolidated to one singular platform. And this provides a better experience for customer and call agent. No more asking the same question again and no more repeating yourself, right? Furthermore, IT management is seamless, like you mentioned, configuration, provisioning with one central control hub. On top of that, many of us know maintaining a on-prem PBX can be very expensive and is non-scalable, especially during acquisition. It takes months to onboard an acquired company contact center. You have circuits to order, adding capacity. It can take months. Right now, it's a matter of just calling Cisco and say, hey, how many Webex contact center additional concurrent agent I want to add? And then you guys take care of everything for me.
I'm so glad to hear that. You know, when we unveiled the all-new Webex Contact Center and announced the IMI acquisition at WebexOne last year, this was exactly the kind of stories we hoped we would have end customers come in and tell us. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Karon and Stanley. Now, I have a forward-looking crystal ball question for you, which I'm sure a lot of us, I'm definitely interested in hearing the answer to. So I'm going to start with you, Stanley. What next on the horizon as you look towards further reimagining customer experiences?
End user entering the digital age, right? They are looking for flexibility on any devices, anytime, anywhere. Karon mentioned that too in her comment earlier. Information or solution at the fingertip. People are very familiar with self-help and self-service. They're very comfortable with it now. However, secure collaboration, because of all the data privacy and the security hack we hear in the news, is very important. Our next step is to enhance our Webex Contact Center AI bot to be able to deliver self-service and self-healing to the end customers.
Awesome. Love the edge use cases for AI, and we look forward to working with you on that. Karon, I'm going to turn the focus on you now and ask you your crystal ball question. What next on the horizon as you look to CX for Rogers customers?
Well, currently we're still working on our prepaid platform, and we are continuing to use your CPaaS platform, which is fabulous for us. What we're doing right now is we're trying to make a seamless customer journey. So we continue to do that. So we are launching something soon. So you just have to stay tuned for that.
I love the marketing element to that. The word customer journey is obviously music to our ears because we're investing a lot in making sure you are able to create and deliver upon the kind of customer experiences your customer expects off of you. So thank you so much for sharing your stories. Thank you so much for taking the time. As I come back and think of my thoughts speaking to these incredible CX practitioners, what I take away are a couple of thoughts. One is that incredible customer experiences are weaved at a scale of n equal to 1 for every single customer, because each customer's requirements are unique. And the second is, when we look at large complex operations, we have to marry customer experience with the ease of administering, monitoring, maintaining and scaling your contact center platforms. And the better together it works, the better it is for you and for your customers. Again, thank you so much for educating me on your journeys to customer experiences. For the audience, as you look towards reimagining your customer experiences, I'm sure you got a nugget or two from our CX practitioners here. Stanley, Karan, thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on board.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Meet Carlos. He's on his way to watch his daughter graduate, and his flight was just delayed. When he saw the text message from the airline, he fully panicked. What is he supposed to do? So he picks, call me. Webex Connect takes Carlos's reply and through Webex Contact Center routes his details to Sandra, the next available agent. With Journey Data Service supplying AI-powered data, Sandra knows why Carlos needs help. No need to explain the situation. Perfect. Plus, Sandra's not working alone. Combining AI and collaborating with other experts via the Webex app, Sandra now has the information to quickly secure Carlos a new flight. She identifies a flight that arrives 10 minutes earlier at nearby Oakland Airport. That works for Carlos. Sandra upgrades him as a courtesy, providing him the option of 2 remaining seats in Economy Plus. Carlos prefers a window seat and chooses 8A. In the background, his customer profile is updated with the seat preference. During the moment Sandra is providing Carlos his confirmation number, he receives a text with the new flight details. Expectations exceeded. He checks in and adds the boarding pass to his wallet app. To make the experience even better, Sandra uses Webex Connect to send Carlos a free drink voucher.
This is amazing. Thanks for turning a stressful situation into a positive one.
After hanging up the call, a survey is triggered through Webex Experience Management to rate the interaction between 1 and 5. Carlos picks 5 stars, of course. Wouldn't it be great if every customer experience was like this? It can be with Webex Customer Experience Platform.
Thank you to our speakers and our customers for outlining what it takes to connect customer journeys into one delightful experience. We are so excited about our new Webex Customer Experience Platform because for the first time, we can create a unified solution for the customers who experience the brand as well as the employees who produce that experience.
Welcome to a very special interview with 2 amazing, lovely space pioneers blazing a new path for humanity, certainly up in the cosmos, but also down here on our home planet. Nicole Stott is a veteran NASA astronaut with 2 space flights and an amazing 104 days living and working in space as a crew member on both the ISS and the Space Shuttle. Dr. Sion Proctor is a geology, sustainability, and planetary science professor and recently made history as the first Black female to pilot a spacecraft as a part of the SpaceX Inspiration 4 mission. We are all curious about, what it's like to actually live and work in space. You don't say that every day, all the time. So tell us what it was like and what do you think was most unexpected?
Okay, it was awesome. So I'll just start with that. And I think we all have our expectations of what it's going to be like. And I thought my expectations were very high to begin with, but I in hindsight, it's like maybe they were here and it's really like this much better. You can't reach your hand up high enough. It is awesome. And I think the thing that was unexpected is that we're working in microgravity up there, so everything floats. You knew that was going to be part of it, but because of that, everything that you do is just a little bit different, or maybe even a lot different than the way it is here on Earth. And that was, I think, one of the most special kind of things about it. And when I say everything, I mean the way our bodies behave, the way you move, all of it. But it wasn't that it was more difficult. It was just that it was different. And it's really, really impressive to see how our bodies and our brain can just very quickly adapt to new environments like that.
You know, similar to what Nicole said, it was that when I got on orbit, and first 3 days just is too short, because by the time the third day is when everything, you know, your body starts figuring it out, and you're like, oh, I feel good, and you're getting used to moving and how much energy you need, because I'm a high energy person. So it took me a little while to realize that, you know, light touches or just a little bit to move across the capsule. And so I think that was really surprising that I took home for myself, was that all of this energy that I have translates to big movements in space. And so I had to tone it down and really kind of relax.
At Webex, we believe in actually creating an inclusive future for all, where everyone has got an equal seat at the table. In fact, that is actually Cisco's purpose. And I think that is one of the values which we actually share and have in common. So can you talk about inclusivity when it is specific to space exploration?
I'm really proud to be part of just the whole human spaceflight adventure. Over time, human spaceflight has been one of the most progressive, inclusive places to work. And I mean that not just from like the astronaut office standpoint, but from, you know, across the board with the engineers and in the workplace in general. You know, you look back 52 years ago, I guess now, when, you know, with Apollo 11, and at that time, there were no women in mission control, none. There was one woman, Poppy Northcutt, in the back room, you know, doing really incredible things to make that mission possible. And in launch control at Kennedy Space Center, there was one woman, Joanne Morgan, you know, smack dab in the middle of the control center. That was it. You know, fast forward to now, where not only are both of those operations run by really incredible women, but when you look across the mix of people in those control centers, it's just like you're looking at this blend of humanity. You're not trying to search for Joanne, you know, in the mix of it anymore. It's just this really great representative population that's solving really challenging problems every day. And I think the key is that, you know, no matter where we are, whatever we're doing, whatever problem we're trying to solve, and I think the space program has shown this beautifully, is that there is a real power in bringing together diverse teams to overcome those challenging problems. And that's everything from experience to race to gender to whatever, you know, flavor you're talking about. Bringing that different mix together will give you a better solution to the problem.
You know, I agree, because I was actually born on Guam, because my dad was working at the NASA tracking station during the Apollo missions. So from 1966 to 70, my family was there. And, you know, to some extent, my dad was this hidden figure, because you just didn't see African-American males when you look at the archive footage, or females, you know. And when the book Hidden Figures came out, I was like, oh, very interesting. But now, you know, you forward 51 years later, and here I am. I just went to space, and I was able to bring, you know, my family legacy with me. Not only did I get selected, but also just that idea of, you know, thinking of my parents and their generation and access, and being in the spotlight for their achievements, versus now me being able to bring up the Neil Armstrong autograph that my dad got when he visited, you know, Guam back in 1969. And so when I think about commercial space and I look at the fact that, we had somebody in their 20s, somebody in their 30s, somebody in their 40s, and somebody in their 50s as part of my crew, and we were 50% male and 50% female, and then me becoming the first Black female pilot of a spacecraft in human history, and the fourth Black female person to fly to space. And so you think about all of these things, and because we're writing the narrative of human spaceflight right now, it's all about a just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive space, what I call a Jedi space. And we get to make this. We have the power, and that's what's exciting, because we're actively working toward that type of future.
That's phenomenal. When you think about space, right? So we are actually up in space in order to tackle some of the pressing challenges which are there in Mother Earth. So when you think about that, how do you think the future of work is going to be like, especially when you bring it in the context of space?
One of the things that I love about human space exploration is that solving for space solves for Earth. And so as we push the boundaries of technology, how we work, live, and play in space, all of that technology, not only does it enable us to be more connected to Earth, but it actually solves for real world problems here on Earth. When we're talking about energy efficiency, water, communications, all of those things that we need to thrive here. And so I always see that every space flight, every advancement, as we push for the moon and Mars, all of that is just going to help us become better here on Earth. And I think that's a message that is often overlooked when people say, why are you, pushing all of this money for the advancement of human space flight when we have wicked problems here on Earth? Well, they're not exclusive, and really solving for one solves for the other.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love Cyan, the solving for space solves for Earth. I think it parallels beautifully. If you look at the International Space Station program's motto, which is off the Earth for the Earth, it's the same thing. And one thing I learned recently that I thought was really interesting is that with the medical research that goes on the International Space Station, 70% of that research is specifically about solving problems here on Earth, which then can help us in space too, but is very deliberately about solving problems for life as a whole here on Earth. And as a result of what we've done with the International Space Station program, this incredible, I would say, never done before partnership, international cooperation, peaceful, successful, both off the planet and on the planet. I don't think we're going to step back from that now. I think it's tempered some of the things that could have been much worse between countries here on Earth if they didn't have this partnership. I think all of us know what value comes from maintaining those relationships. I think we will. We're lifting the things off the planet that are causing us harm. We're taking advantage of the benign environment of space to do things like space-based solar power, even, and then providing energy to the planet in a way that's so much cleaner than anything we can do down here on Earth.
So picking up on that, Nicole, so Webex, we are a collaboration business unit here within Cisco, right? So for us, it's about breaking down the barriers across countries, geographies, locations, social economic level. It's all about powering and breaking down the divide so that everyone has got an equal seat at the table. So this question is, how do you think telecommunications collaboration is now going to break down the barriers from Earth to space?
Well, I think, when you speak to something like communication, which, what we've done in space to communicate is allowing us to do this today too, right? I can tell you as, a crew member on the space station, there for months at a time, it was, one of the top priorities was, how am I, not only going to be able to communicate with my mission control team to make sure that we have a safe environment, that we're working in the proper way, but to reach out and have that communication on a daily basis, maybe multiple times with my family and my friends.
as we push the boundaries of these communications going to the moon and Mars, that just helps us become more connected here on Earth. And you're able to reach places that you normally wouldn't be able to. And I'm excited for that. I'm a big person for open education and how knowledge and education can flourish when we connect people through technology, because then it equals that playing field for, a lot of people who may not have access to the best schools and things like that. But technology, especially in the form of communication, can help break those barriers. And if we can really push the envelope in this area, we can make a global impact as we reach for the stars.
You couldn't have said it better, right? Because opportunity is global, but not everyone has access to that particular opportunity. And I think technology will become a huge enabler in terms of breaking down the barriers so that everyone has equal opportunity. I love that. Last question. I'm a bit of a nerd, and I grew up addicted to science fiction, and wanted to check with you ladies whether you had a similar kind of an addiction.
Are you kidding me? No, my sci-fi is like my complete world. I actually flew a little plush doll of Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura from the original Star Trek, because as a kid, even though the series aired before I was born, my family have been Trekkies. We have been Star Wars people. When I think back to that time and the influence that they had on me, I don't think that I would have been going to space and pursuing it so much if I hadn't seen, myself in Lieutenant Uhura and being like, wow, I want to be her. How do I go and explore the stars? And it just has that lasting impact that really inspires us to be creative and imaginative and make those things that we dream about, like the tricorder and telemedicine, all these things, a reality that we see today. And so I love science fiction.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up when I got home from school and my dad was home from work, like Star Trek was the show on the TV, right? And I love that it came through like an influence from my family too, from my parents, that was just in the house, and we were going to watch that kind of thing, and it was one of those things where it just was, right? And all of what you just said, Cyan, about I think the influences that it had on us, the inspiration that it gave us through this diverse crew that was on board. I mean, even to the point of including an alien, aliens were part of the main crew. And while that was like put in our face, it didn't feel like it was like being pushed in our face. It was just kind of matter of fact, this is the way it's going to be in the future. And I think it got all of us thinking about, at least I remember feeling this way, like this is the way it should be now. Why am I not seeing this now? And feeling like we could push forward in that direction. It was just such a wonderful influence. And I married a person who I think is probably the world's expert on all things sci-fi. And one of the best, well, there's a lot of bonuses to being married to him, but there's, with respect to science fiction, it's just to be in conversations where, like you said, Cyan, you discover these things that were probably first thought of as sci-fi, and now they're sci-fact. And the more and more we bring those two things together, the better our future is going to be.
Thank you so much, Nicole and Cyan, for joining us today. The conversation was so inspirational, amazing. I'm sure the audience is going to appreciate it very much. And with that, live long and prosper.
Thanks. It was great to be here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to Webex Partner Awards. And joining me today is Kristen Hogan, Vice President of Channel Partner Sales here at Cisco. We know you, our partners, are a huge critical part of our success. We want to take every opportunity to recognize your outstanding contributions and celebrate your achievements with our customers.
So first, we want to say thank you. Thank you for your partnership, loyalty, commitment, and most of all, your hard work in a super competitive market. To celebrate you, we've created an awards platform to bring your valued efforts to the forefront. So let's jump right in and hear about this year's winners.
The first award is the Partner of the Year Award, which recognizes a partner who has demonstrated extraordinary performance and contribution to the collaboration Webex business in fiscal 21. The America's Partner of the Year has made a huge commitment to Cisco Webex calling platform, bringing value add to our customers through network advantages. And the winner is, congratulations, AT&T. We have changed the way Cisco and AT&T are working together. Next, the Partner of the Year in EMEA builds collaboration solutions focused on customers' business needs, bringing cloud offerings to all verticals and remote video expert solutions for the mid-market. This partner has showed an impressive growth driven by flex licenses, Webex trials, and net new customers. Zev IT, congratulations on your performance and winning the EMEA Partner of the Year. Our Partner of the Year winner in APJC is leading the collaboration innovation in Japan. The work they have done with Webex calling as a cloud service is groundbreaking and is driving great growth for our customer base. I'm extremely excited to announce KDDI as the APJC Partner of the Year.
And now for our Rising Star Award, which recognizes a partner who has demonstrated a standout performance in their respective region, showing growth in a particular segment or aspect of our collaboration portfolio. The Rising Star in Americas is quickly becoming a top collaboration partner in the SLED space for Cisco. Congratulations, Aspire Technology Partners. Our EMEA Rising Star Award goes to one of the major system integrators in the region, who has taken our mantra, use it, know it, sell it, to heart as they invest in the latest Cisco technologies. Join me in giving a big congratulations to Space Hellas on their accomplishments this past year. Our APJC Rising Star is crushing it in the SMB space. They are having tremendous success in delivering voice services at scale, all while providing a great customer experience. A huge thank you and congratulations to our Rising Star in APJC Next Gen.
The next award is the Webex Hybrid Work Innovation Award, which recognizes a partner that exemplifies how Webex solutions are used to support customer outcomes powering hybrid work. This partner leads the market in helping customers through their hybrid work transformation, offering amazing innovation through their Advanced Technology Center. Truly impressive work, WWT. Congratulations on being named Hybrid Work Innovation Award winner.
And now for our Webex Managed Services Award, which recognizes a service provider for delivering exceptional Webex services. The winner of the Managed Services Award has shown extensive commitment and alignment with Cisco's strategic direction to accelerate cloud calling, meetings, and our contact center solutions as we move to the cloud and ARR subscriptions. And that commitment extends to our full product portfolio with market-leading SD-WAN powered by Meraki, security, and App Dynamics. Congratulations and thank you, Lumen.
The next award is the Webex Cloud Calling Award, which recognizes a partner that has had significant success with Webex calling over the past fiscal year. This partner offers a complete range of services that complement Cisco's calling platforms, including global PSTN. They have achieved rapid cloud calling business growth this fiscal year. And the winner is NTT Americas.
And finally, our Webex Customer Experience Award. This award recognizes a partner that has had success with selling and implementing Cisco contact center solutions. The winner of this award has demonstrated their unique capabilities on customer application integrations, which open up new use cases and help us win over competitive deals in the contact center space. And the winner for the Webex Customer Experience Award is Servion in APJC. With that, congratulations and thank you to all of the winners of our Webex Partner Awards.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes our action-packed WebexOne program for this morning. I hope you're planning to stick around and learn more in our breakout sessions that focus on contact center, our Communication Platform as a Service, or CPaaS, and embedded apps. And don't miss our last opportunity to explore our socio event experience, meet the experts, and hear our Chief People and Policy and Purpose Officer, Fran Katsoudas, and her conversation with Simone Biles, where they discuss the importance of mental health and teamwork. You won't want to miss this.